Hey guys, Katsuma Gaming here. Finally back with another banner guide. Sorry for the delay, the weekend was really special and I couldn't do what I wanted to do, but hey, better late never right. We're still day one of the banner, so this should hopefully be fine. And yeah, we're back for our Trick or Treat Part 2, aka the Mysterious Night Recruit Part 2 to be more exact. That will feature both Halloween Megumin and Halloween Lolisa. So why not just jump right into it and see what these units can do? First up, we have Lolisa, because I think talking about Lolisa is more easily. She has a physical attack passive trait, nothing too crazy here, but of course still great and a great sub for our Lolisas in that regard. The first skill is a random hit that deals 184 damage 2 times. Pretty basic, only 50 seconds on a cooldown, so that's pretty low and that allows her to do some pretty decent damage. Skill 2 deals 122 damage only, but instead it gives a tier 2 agility boost to your whole team for 10 seconds with a 16-second cooldown, aka a downtime of only 6 seconds, so a little bit of CDR helps a lot in that team to just keep the speed boost up the whole time. And of course normal basic with self-healing, and yeah, that just makes her a really great unit, because you know, speed boost is always great for your teams, speed boost is always needed. Then of course keep in mind Lisa's ulti 1 version 1 and her ulti 1 version 2 are just great in general. They are buffing units that can either slow the enemy and speed herself up, so I don't really think it's needed here. So her ulti 1 version 2 is probably the best. Healing plus physical attack buff plus magical attack buff means she can, for example, buff the new Megumin as well. And just buffer plus a speed boost unit, the only thing she needs is CDR to just be like Vescris level, if you know what I mean. So yeah, in that regard, she's a great unit. I'll go over the tier list in a second to check out their places, but I think she's a really good unit. Especially keep in mind with the current state of Earth units in Global, since we just like any good Earth units, because the collaboration didn't happen with Raygun, and that just makes more new units that are still great even more desirable. The second unit is, of course, as I teased before, Megumin. And before I actually go a little bit deep onto her kit, I just want to mention one more thing, and for that we just quickly go back to the game and to the character upgrade menu. Because if you didn't realize that, not only did we get an our ulti 2 version 2, Megumin also got a new ulti 2 version 2. And that is now live, and that actually changes quite a bit with Megumin. So if we switch back really quick and actually scroll back up, you can actually see here what her ulti 2 version 2 does, and it's a tier 3 rush rate for 12 seconds. And the duration of 12 seconds is really key here, because you think 12 seconds might not be worth it because you still need to run a rush rate unit anyway, but the fact that we have Senna and she can extend the duration long enough that the moment you cast your ulti 2 version 2 and you use her immediately, you can use her right in time before the buff actually runs out, which allows you to keep the buff on for at least half the run. And that is something to keep in mind, because especially off element, that can potentially lead to some really interesting strats where you use Megumin as a rush rate unit, have just 3 damaging units for most of the run, and then towards the end maybe a unit faints, another rush rate unit can come in. Stuff like that happen in JP. So there's a chance it happens here. I'm just not too sure when and how much it will happen here, because I think she was used the most for that, but there was also Raygun Megumi as well that, you know, also had gauge up, and with that also was kind of used for that strat, and we'll see how much it happens. But for this arena I think it actually is a pretty decent strategy, because as I kind of teased here before, her first skill is a random hit that actually gives a 20% self gauge, and the second skill is actually a 4-second CDR. And to be honest, that would be the perfect Megumin if the gauge was actually team-wide, but CDR and gauge for a Megumin is like the best thing you can kind of hope for, because you have pretty much 2 options for this Megumin. Either you just use the gauge up on the wave and then instantly ult on the boss with your ulti 1 to, you know, just make room, help with the waves clear, give your team maybe some CDR if they use some skills in the second wave, and you're good to go, you're out. Otherwise, of course, you can just give her as much gauge as possible from a wave, so 2 hits from the random hit, 1 kill with the CDR skill, and then probably a second round of skills when she's in the final wave on the boss before she uses her ray gun to allow your other teams to do even more damage with the T rush red. but it kind of forces you to run Sena as your assist, as I said before. So I think these are the two options, and with that, I think she's actually also a really good unit. The one downside of her is she kind of has longer skill cooldowns, and she probably won't do that much damage, especially if you actually go for the ulti 2 version 2 strat, because depending on that, you might just not even use the Lolisa ulti for her and just keep it for the unit that comes in afterwards. So we'll see how that goes, but all in all, I still think she's a pretty good unit. Now, finally time to check out the tier list, because if you didn't see it already, the tier list is updated. I just haven't made a tier list update video yet, but here's the updated tier list. You can check it out for yourself, and probably tomorrow or so we actually do the tier list video where I explain all the changes, because as you can clearly see, a lot of stuff moved. And you can also see that both Megumin and Lolisa are on the meta units on element tier list. I think Lolisa is pretty self-explanatory. She's the only, I think, speed boost unit for Earth right now that gives a tier 2 speed boost on a skill, so just that alone makes her really, really valuable. Megumin, I think with her ulti 2 now being out, and the only other restaurant unit that we're having is on Melissa, and she's fine, I guess, but not like best unit per se, if you know what I mean, with an AoE skill and non-elemental ultis. The fact that you can use Megumin there and make room for another damage unit to come in, and maybe then her as like a slot 5 unit or something like that, just pushes her like a little bit up. And of course the lack of other earth element units that we have in Glow. Okay, with that we come to the really, really interesting part, and that is, should you summon on this banner? And I can't answer the question for you. Hear me out. I think these units are great, as you can see by the tier list. So on theory, I would be like, yeah, sure, pull for this banner. They're great units. The problem we have here is we are entering a phase in Global where we get a lot, and I mean really a lot, of great banners ahead of us. After that, we have, I think, like 2 filler banners, but then we get 2.75 anniversary. After that, we get Christmas 1, we get Christmas 2. After that, we get New Year 1 with Forbidden second banner, and like there are so many good banners upcoming that it's really hard to be like, yeah, just pull on it. You can save up. Sure, there will be 2 filler banners before the next bigger banner, but with the current amount of quartz that we can get, and I think a lot of people prefer to save their quartz to guarantee a unit, I think for you guys it's probably best to actually skip this banner, because on my personal opinion, I think the next big banner that you should pull on is probably Christmas 1. Maybe a few pulls on the 2.75 anniversary banner for Fesrin and potentially Festas, because they're still great units. But I think Christmas has more longevity, and also both units are probably really good. Again, thanks to not having Nisaka, aka the competitive lightning unit. I think this banner just gets higher up in the priority with the power level that we're having and the lacking of units. So that's why I recommend pulling on that banner and just skipping the others. Maybe just do a few pulls, like a single, a multi, a paid multi, whatever you want. Because in the end, it's up to you what you do. If you are a Megumin sim and you like, yo, I wanted Megumin, or if you are a catgirl and Shoyer and be like, yo, I wanted Lolisa, how I was GP, then feel free to pull. They are not bad. You shouldn't feel bad for pulling on this banner. You just need to set out your priorities. Do you want to have a strong Earth team? Do you want to gamble that you can just get both banner units and pull the next banners and get lucky? Or do you want to be safe and be like, yo, my lightning is pretty good and I want to stay up there on lightning, or I just want to increase it even more because, for example, if you don't have Snow Cecily, the Christmas Aqua would be a great replacement for her. She's probably one of the best lightning units that we have at that point and stuff like that. Like, I repeat here, sorry, but I think all in all, it comes down to what your priorities are, what you want. And with that, for me, I think the best banner to pull on with the highest value, because both banner units are great, not just only one, would be Christmas Part 1. And after Christmas Part 1 would probably be the New Year banner with Forbidden Wiz. Yeah, that should hopefully be everything. I hope this cleared out some questions. If they did, remember to follow, like, subscribe for more content. Keep an eye out for the updated tier list video, the giveaway video that hopefully should drop this week. Again, sorry for the delay. The weekend was really not too much details here. That's my problem, not yours. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and see you all in the next one. Bye bye.
だから一緒に行きましょう